Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today we are cooking coconut and jam slice. I meant to cook this last week, as usual. Busyness gets in the way of everything. This one's been on my mind for a long time because I love this sort of thing. I have a very sweet tooth, which is lucky that I guess people brought me chocolate for Christmas because that was my lunch yesterday. Oops. But anyway, here's what we need. I've just been busy preparing everything. I've gone with raspberry jam. To me, raspberry jam is the best jam for this slice. But don't let that throw you off cooking with apricot or strawberry jam, or you might want to try plum or whatever you want to try. It's entirely up to you. So grab yourself a slice pan. I've got my trusty slice pan. Grease it and line it. We're going to cook this at 180, 160 I would probably go with for fan forced. So I'm going to put my oven on in between 170 and we need our mixer down and let's get ready to go. Okay, so the best thing to do before you cook is always try and have everything measured out and ready. That was just the butter melting. That was not a urgent step. Okay, so grab your handy mixer. In this we need our butter and our brown sugar. Plop. I'm just going to let that drip into there while I grab the brown sugar. Brown sugar was 1/3 of a cup and I've measured out 1/4. Good on me. Alright, I'll fix that up real quick. This is what happens when you're super tired. It's not a big mistake, it's just a mistake. There's not much difference between 1/3 and 1/4, but I guess when it comes to the fact that it's on the base, it might have a little bit of an impact. Yeah, it was about the equivalent of 1 and a bit teaspoons. Alright, in she goes. That's what happens when you cook for so long. You just grab for measuring cups and you just assume that you've got the right one. One important thing is to never assume. Alright, so we're going to cream those. So as you can see, they're starting to mix. Because there's not much in here, this might be interesting for me, but we'll see how we go. Speed it up a bit. Now, one thing I did do was I separated all my eggs. There's 3 yolks in there. I only need 2, but I'll be okay. I can keep one aside. Okay, add in those 2 egg yolks. So you've just kept 1 back. Approximately that is 1 in there. And then we want to add the cup of plain flour. And we want this to be like a dough so that we can put it in the bottom. That's some pretty cool special effects going on there. Whew. I don't think you need to roll it, but you just need to make sure that you can press it into the base. And if you get the bottom of a glass, I'll show you how you can actually press it in easier without having to roll it. So it's starting to go into little breadcrumbs now, which is what we want anyway. Yeah. Alright, once it looks like it's all mixed, you can turn the mixer off and just get your hands in there. So give them a good wash and a dry. Alright, I'm just going to get that into, just get the hands in there. It does say knead until the mixture comes together and then press it into the bowl. Watch that jam. So it's a nice biscuit base. I have made something similar to this before. I think I referred to it almost as an iced Vovo. Very delicious. So when I came across this one, I thought, I'm going to make it. It's a good one to share anyway, so I will be sharing this one. Okay, so bye-bye mixer, just have a little holiday there. Okay, so just palm it down like so. Yeah, come on. Put some power into it. I haven't got much power. Okay. Now, why did I ask you to get a glass? You can actually stamp it with a glass, as long as it doesn't get stuck to the bottom, I suppose. It's getting stuck, never mind. Now that's something else I got to wash up. That's right, it's spreading. It possibly will spread while you're cooking as well, but don't quote me on that and don't rely on that as being true. You don't want a thick spot and then a thin spot, because if it's not even, it'll probably burn. And no one likes burnt biscuit base. But then again, if it's someone you don't like and you prefer to share it, give them the burnt bit and say Happy New Year. Alright, this is going into the oven for 20 minutes at 180. I'm doing mine at 170 though, so we'll be back. Okay, if it's still cooking and you can smell it, don't just go, oh, it's got 5 minutes to go, because that's how you get baking disasters. That had 5 minutes to go, but if you touch it, it's springy. If you get a toothpick, stab it, it's dry, so there is no point in cremating it just for the sake of an extra 5 minutes. Okay, so now we've got our beautiful base. 3/4 of a cup of jam. We want to spread this over the top while the sponge is still warm. Now, don't be tempted to just dollop it in the middle, because it's not like spreading it on bread or toast where it will spread. You could warm the jam up first if you want, or you can just do it how I'm doing it now. Just dollop it and then just try and spread it that way. See, technically if you warm it, it's going on something warm anyway, so it will find its natural pattern where it would like to settle. And if it doesn't, well, If you like a lot of jam, go for the piece with a lot of jam on it. That is why I tell you my oven is a bit psychotic. It does what it wants to do. That's why I always adjust it accordingly. I generally would treat it as a fan forced, or if I use the correct temperature, I don't give it as long. But you really need to know your oven, and if you don't know your oven, always go on the caution of the lower temperature or less cooking time, because you can always put the item back in the oven, but you can't unburn it. Once it's burnt, it's burnt. Okay, so that is jammy. Yum. Alrighty, just push that off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to beat the egg whites. If you do not own a stick mixer, I suggest you go and get one, because these are the best for doing egg whites and whipped cream. Well, sometimes not so much egg whites, but definitely whipped cream. And they're easy to wash up as well. Alright, so we want our 3 egg whites whipped up until they've got firm peaks. Now this is going back in the oven for another 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to go for the 15 minutes. I'm keeping it at 170 as well. If you find it's not working with this, your next best thing is to get your mixer handheld and do it with that. This normally does work though. Egg whites and me, one day it's easy, the next day it's like this, it's a shit. Maybe it's because I've got you on camera. Oh, there's certain techniques to doing egg whites. I think you can't have them too hot, which they've been sitting in room temperature. It's bloody hot today. We're having a summer day here in the Blue Mountains for a little while. Alright, now I am starting to get the shits with that. There you go, that was my timer. So we've done a lot in the 5 minutes that it would still be cooking for. Alright, so I'm going to give that a holiday. Get our hand mixer down. We don't need the whole stand and the bowl. The joys of a small kitchen. Everything has to go up really high. Okay, so while I was waiting, I was being productive and actually washing up. It's one job I absolutely hate. Especially when it's late at night and you're like, oh, I should wash up. I don't want to do it in the morning. No. Alright. This should go pretty quick. Getting there. I probably did most of the work with a stick mixer, I would imagine. That should do. We're not making pavlova, so we're fine. I would say it was a bit too hot for the whites. Alright, so gradually add that caster sugar. Okay, now we want that other yolk in as well. So my suggestion is to put this in with that. That way we're going to get everything in. Mix that in. Just grab a spoon and get the rest of it all mixed in. Gotta need glasses on when I wash up. I just found the dirtiest spoon in the washing up sink. Sorry, in the washed up rack. There's no such thing as a washed up sink. I don't own a dishwasher, unfortunately. Well, fortunately and unfortunately. They're good, but then you've still got to unpack them. So unless they're self-unpacking ones, I don't really want one. Mix in the coconut. This is looking pretty coconutty already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sprinkle coconut over. Probably should have done it the other way. Okay, just spoon that out. Now's probably a good time to get that glass that I said. All it does is it just gives you a smooth surface. Okay, that can go in now. 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll see you then. And there you have it. It looks amazing. So, thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. I'm going to catch you very soon on a new cooking adventure. Enjoy! Bye!